introduced democracy from the very beginning by getting people to elect the committees of the resistance councils, especially in the Bukit area. FOBA, the group of who are saying they were following Obote, started killing those elected leaders until we crushed FOBA. Elect people who help in exposing those mistakes. You have the power. Another time I'll speak about that, because the parishes are in Uganda, and everywhere there is local leadership, especially at the sub-county, and there are councillors. Why should things go wrong when all those leaders are there? Of course, even the government was also responsible, because they are the GISOs in every sub-county. Why would things go wrong and the GISO doesn't know? And the DISO. The facts of the matter are that with the limited waking up, where 67% of the homesteads as compared to 9%, because in 1962, only 9% of the people were in the money economy. Only 9%. When I checked in 2013, only 32% were in the money economy. Our Excellency Vice President of Uganda, the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, and all the other leaders and fellow Ugandans, I'm again very happy to address you on this occasion of the State of the Nation Address. Supporting the NRM. Thank you so much, Uganda. Presidential address on during the presidential inauguration, I put forward a call of no more sleep. Some people are already distorting it as just no sleep. It is not just no sleep, it is no more sleep. And to clarify the message, I should add no more corruption, obscurzy, no more kongora, leaning on your hole when others are digging. That's called kongora in our language. No more kugumaza, kuzia, diverting somebody's attention from the real target to a wrong target. No more to hinder, overburden us when we work and we are just sitting down. And no more politeness to non-performers who want leadership for their own ego and personal interests. This is the Ekisanja, no sleep. Uganda starts in the early 1960s. Personally, I started waking up our people, in 1959 when I visited Mbara Stock Farm as a junior secondary 1 pupil at Mbara High School. Having come from the Ntungamo area that was democratically outside the money economy, and everybody was on Okwogera Chonka, working only for the stomach, subsistence. Combined with the school education, when we came to know about the enclosure movement in the UK, Oksiba Sengenge for agriculture, the Industrial Revolution in Europe, etc. By 1965, the sectarian politics of the political groups notwithstanding, our ideas about the socio-economic transformation had coalesced. It was clear that the small enclave economy of the British, of the 3 C's and 3 T's, was a disaster for the majority of the people. You want proof? Just look at the infant mortality rate in 1962 and the average life expectancy in 1962. There were 128 per 1,000 live births, and life expectancy was 46.8 for everybody on the average. We soon grasped the importance of having vertically integrated and horizontally integrated national economies. In the 20 years of chaos between 1966 and 1986, our views were eventually crystallized into the 10 points program of Kanyara. Kanyara was where we wrote this document in 1984. Point number 5 of those 10 points ran as follows, in quotes: build an independent, integrated, self-sustaining national economy. However, for the people to participate in the vertical and horizontal integration of the economy of the country, they had to join the money economy first and move out of the traditional pre-capitalist economy of working for a chida chonka, working only for the stomach, just subsistence. Since my nomadic family, because my family was nomadic, since my nomadic family had migrated from Ntungamo to Nyabushozi, it was the good luck of Nyabushozi that we started our activities there. These activities involved sensitizing the population of the cattle corridor to stop nomadism, make enclosures around their land, Sengenge, engage in commercial agriculture with the Ikibaro, Chura, Aymar, cultivation for profit and maximum returns. You can see in the videos, let them show us some of the families we started with if they are there on the videos, their testimony.
Amazina gange
to go away to fight. But when we came back, 1986, we added the issue of going now, not only just being settled, but being settled and also doing commercial agriculture with the Chivaro. That's why we advised them to go into dairy farming, because dairy farming was more, for smallholders and medium people, it was better than beef ranching. Beef ranching needs more land. Now, in the Nyabushozi area has spread to the whole cattle corridor south of the Nile. There's a man called Matongo in the Ngoma area. Let's see what he says. As in the south of the Nile, from River Kagera up to Chiriandongo. They have all changed. Now that man is in Ngoma area. The infrastructure is not so good, but you can see they are having a lot of money. That particular one is selling 900 liters of milk per day. The price is low, it's not high, but they still get 21 million shillings a month. You can see that girl there, she's educated because of the money which the parents have to pay for her in the schools. And they have moved from the other small houses which the old lady was showing you to now permanent buildings to live a better life. Now, that is the testimony from the cattle corridor. That's why this time really I am no longer interested in non-performers. The 1986 and 1989, we campaigned for prioritizing the enterprise of dairy farming for the small and medium farmers, while the big players could continue with the ranching for beef. By 1995, the cattle corridor had started changing. People getting income per month from the milk, building better houses, paying school fees for children in paying schools. Indeed, our late Magaga is the husband of the other lady whom you saw, and father of Lieutenant General Kavuma. Is Kavuma here? Is he here? He's a big general now. Oh, you can see how big he is. There. With my colleague Mwesugwa Black, who died in 1972 in our wars, we used, the only person who helped us gave us 20 shillings. That's about $3. $3. Just short of $3. Because a dollar that time was 7 shillings, a dollar. So $3 would be 21 shillings. So when we went to say we are going to mobilize the Wanyankole to stop nomadism, other people refused to help us. Museveni gave us 20 shillings. With my colleague Mwesugwa Black, who died in 1972 in our wars, we used 7 shillings per person to use Mongonya's bus from Baraturshere through Ruhumba. That was 14 shillings. So out of our 20, we used 14 to come from Baraturshere. 2 of us, each one 7 shillings. Mwesugwa was a smoker. So you took away shillings 120 to buy a packet of Sportsman. That left us with 4 shillings 80 cents. After holding public meetings at Rushere, we used the Bazarona bus to a place called Katongole, each using shillings 1 shilling and 20 cents. That is 2 shillings and 40 cents. In the Katongole area, we started moving on foot up to near Nama, where we spent the night leaning against the harvested millet. When we spent one of the nights, we spent it leaning against the millet of one of the peasants called Chankuru. Millet is very comfortable when it is not threshed, when it is in the sheaves. After addressing a public meeting at Nama, the group gave us bicycle rides to Mzee Tasene's place near Wamasha Dam. Moving on foot, we addressed meetings, including a mega one at where there is Karo Secondary School now. You should have seen the grandfathers and other adults listening to these young people. I was just 22 years old that time, and Mwesugwa was just slightly older than me. Thereafter, we moved on foot out of Mzee Tanyoka's home that we had made our camp and spent the night at Rushere with Mzee Mhinga. They are deep because I've been polite, talking, thinking that people will learn by example. No. This is the time to talk straight to everybody. Why should the Muruka chief have a motorcycle, fuel, money? Let him use a bicycle. It is better for him. He will live longer if he rides the bicycle. Even a Gomboro chief, the Gomboro is not so big. Why should we have fuel? All that work can't be done because there is no money for fuel. The only fuel I needed was no fat on my body. We would share food and accommodation with our hosts, the population. God has kept me here, and I'm now 82 years old, almost, not exactly, but almost. In spite of the efforts expended in the resistance, the most important contribution to the people of the cattle corridor was the diagnosis of their problems and the prescriptions we offered. Because these people had no money to give them. The only thing we gave them was a correct analysis, diagnosis, and a prescription. They were enough to arouse their enthusiasm and expectations. That was the reason they massively joined the young party we formed in 1980, known as UPM, after the parties were again allowed to exist. No money given to them, but accurate analysis and prescription that was a projected solution. And also reaching them. You can imagine a 22-year-old children calling adults, grandfathers, and they come to these meetings. By 1986, the production of milk in Uganda was 200 million liters per annum. It is now 5.4 billion liters, saving US dollars 1.56 billion of imports and earning US dollars 285 million in export earnings. So this work we did not only help these cattle raising families, but saved Uganda the import bill of $1.56 billion. If we were importing all this milk, Uganda would be spending $1.56 billion. Additionally, Uganda is earning now $285 million in export earnings. Uganda used to import tinned condensed milk from as far away as New Zealand, packed pepper milk from Kenya, butter, cheese, yogurt, powdered milk, etc. from Denmark, etc. Uganda now is a big exporter of all those products. That is our work. The people in the cattle corridor need to deepen their work by going away from Oksetura, free range, to growing pasture and indoor feeding of cattle, goats, and sheep. The only people who indirectly helped us in this were the late King Gasyonga and some community leaders like Eliazar Bitembe, who had mobilized the Banyankore to come back from where they had been dispersed by the spread of the tsetse flies, following the invasion of tsetse flies from Karagwe, Tanzania in 1918 and after. To be saluted in particular is President Eisenhower of the United States, who deployed USAID to spray against the tsetse flies in 1958 using a chemical known as diedrine. When President Clinton visited us in March 1998, I wanted him to visit the cattle corridor and see the outcomes of the good the USAID had done. However, his people preferred to take him to Mukono to see pancakes. So I see this work, but his people said, no, you go to Mukono and see pancakes. So they went to see pancakes. Even me, I went with them. Ever since the coming into power of the NRM, we have eradicated the tsetse flies in Ichiboga, Ngoma, Busoga, Lango, etc. With the shift from Kusetura, free range, to indoor feeding of the dairy and beef cattle, and stopping the primitive practice of property fragmentation after the death of the head of the family, Uganda will overtake countries like the Netherlands, Australia, Argentina in production levels of dairy products, beef, leather, etc. After this success, I started inviting delegations of leaders from other parts of Uganda to visit and learn. This is where the question of no more sleep, no more kukongora, no more kugumaza, no more kuhenda, no more politeness to non-performance comes in. Because I would invite leaders, come please and see. This area was like this. We have now moved it, it's moving like this. And they would visit. My expectation was that they would go and try to do the same in all our areas in Uganda. The Count of Nyabushozi each day delivers to the factories and milk coolers 1.15 million liters of milk per day. That's county alone. There are 115 milk coolers in Nyabushozi alone, mainly private. And there are now 160 milk and milk products factories in the whole of Uganda. Allegations in 1995, I made a countrywide tour on exactly this point. I studied the whole country and I recommended the two models of agriculture. Intensive agriculture for people with small pieces of land and extensive agriculture for people with big pieces of land. In the 1996 manifesto, we reduced it into the 4 acres model with 7 activities for intensive farming and for other products for the plantations and the big farmers with big pieces of land. With 4 acres or less, you could engage in zero grazing for 1 acre of pasture with 8 Frisian cattle, 1 acre of coffee, 1 acre of fruits, 1 acre of food for the family, poultry for eggs and piggery in the backyard, and fish farming near the wetlands. With large farming, there was more flexibility. You could undertake any or all of these 7 that were high income earners, even when you do them on a small scale, and you could also take on the low value, the low returns activities, but on a large scale, because the country also needs them. These are products like tea, cotton, sugarcane, cattle ranching, etc. The logical question was, in the 1996 elections, the question was, where is the capital to start? Immediately, 1997, we put in Tandukwa money at the sub-county to work as a revolving fund. I remember checking in Ruvaga division, here in Kampala, there was a DP chairperson known as Sendi Kadiwa at that time in that area. That money was already there. And I was challenging Sendi Kadiwa how to use that money to give low interest capital to our people. Since that time, we have never relented. NADS, in the year 2001, Operation Wealth Creation 2013, PDM starting with the year 2022, Myoga in the year 2020, etc. Many families have listened and benefited. In my country tours, I found a man called Mudebo in Sironko. Let's see Mudebo. Breeds, Ebiwa with Frisians, and they took off. However, wealth creation cannot take place if there is no peace, no law and order, and supportive infrastructure in the country. The UPDF always guarantees peace in the country. The police and judiciary must ensure law and order. The NRM has struggled to stomach, so with infrastructure, our scorecard is clear and must not be allowed to be spoiled. The NRM has struggled to tarmac the core national roads from north at Oraba, Aru, Nimule, and Musingo in the north. These are all linked by tarmac roads. Then the tarmac roads continuous from the north through the Kampala area to Kachitumba, Katuna, Chanika, and Bunagana in the south. The mistake has been by the Ministry of Works to allow these roads to deteriorate, and then we start to doing heavy work afterwards. The new ministers must ensure. I don't want to see what happened to some of the roads like the Fort Portal Road. But there's a story about that Fort Portal Road. There's a story of corruption in that road. I hope the new team will deal with that issue. Swam, Amudat, all the way to Mpondwe, Busunga, and Ishasha in the west. This does not include the tarmac roads linking to the water bodies that are also transport connections, such as Jinja. Because when you have the tarmac road up to Jinja, you go into the water, you cross by ferry to Mwanza, to Kisumu, wherever you want to go. Majangi, Port Bell, Butiaba, Kaisotonya, Bukakata, there are tarmac roads going up to these water bodies. We are revamping the railway and building the standard gauge one. We are working with Kenya and Tanzania on the pipelines for the crude petroleum products and for the refined petroleum products. This will move cargo, heavy cargo, away from the roads to the railway, and petroleum products from the roads to the pipeline. In the coming years, we will no longer see tankers on the road, petrol tankers. They should not be on the road. Petrol should go by pipe. Should not be competing with cars. The roads for only passengers and light cargo. The Maram roads must be maintained always. Where the 3 billion shillings per district, which we send, cham, they just eat it. If it is not enough, why not bring up the matter? You, the members of parliament, if you think that the 3 billion per district is not enough, bring it up. And we cut money from somewhere and we make sure the roads are worked on. Instead of just keeping quiet, and you find the Maram road from Rira to my village in Barregi. It was terrible. It was very bad. It had not been maintained for a long time. Therefore, the NRM has identified all the requirements for building a prosperous Uganda. The NRM has also provided for the means for individuals, families, or companies that want to be part of the socio-economic transformation story. As I've said before, our mission has been to ensure that the individuals, the families, or the companies that listen to our message are assisted to be wealth and jobs creators. Right from the beginning, we realized that the internal factors are crucial, but not enough to ensure the socio-economic transformation of Uganda. We need to answer the question, in quotes, if the individuals, families, or companies create wealth and produce products and services in 4 sectors of commercial agriculture, manufacturing, services, and ICT, is the internal market enough? Is the internal market enough of these African countries? Our answer was no. The internal market cannot be enough. Indeed, if the internal markets were enough, why would a country like China, with 1.3 billion people, or India, India, with one people, be looking for external markets. Hence, ever since the 1960s, we have been having a Pan-African agenda on top of the patriotic agenda within Uganda. The Pan-African agenda was aimed at the economic integration of the whole of Africa in a continental market and for the political integration within East Africa, leading to the political federation of East Africa. The economic integration would deal with the prosperity of the African people, while the political integration of the parts of Africa that are compatible would deal with the strategic security of Africa, especially defense on land, in the air, at sea, and in space. Therefore, for the wealth creators of Uganda, most of the factors are in place now. That is why we are now saying no more sleep, no more kukongora, leaning on your hoe while others are working. No more kugumaza, diverting people's attention. No more corruption. And no more politeness to non-performers who want leadership for ego and personal interests. We must ensure that enjuku house to house, ought be ought in our Luo language. Ensure that enjuku for the families with the land, they get into the money economy with the chibaro. The ones without land, their solution is the myoga, skills. Indeed, we also need to know that with inclusion, it will be neither possible nor necessary for everybody to have land. That is why there are other sectors, manufacturing and artisanship, services, ICT, e.g. transport, entertainment, ICT, e.g. BPOs. In the developed countries, very few people own land. I saw in the Negative Monitor newspaper an article by an individual known as Gawaya Tegule, who is always writing mendaciously and maliciously, saying that Uganda has been wandering in the desert for 40 years, like the children of Israel. Those who are wandering in the desert are partly those who listen to those liars. If you listen to the liars, you will wander in the desert. It is true that many of the leaders do not amplify this message of how people can get out of poverty. However, those who do change their lives. I understand Gawaya comes from Bugwere area. Let him visit Mama Nabutono and her husband, Obuko de Seru Kasasera Ward, Kasasera Town Council. Let's see Mama Nabutono if you have her. Indeed, that is how the dairy sector changed the cattle corridor, and the cassava is changing in many parts of Uganda. These are totally new cash products. Very addition to some of the raw materials, e.g. gold, and the knowledge economy of the automobiles, vaccines, computers, etc. What is high-sounding sloganeering there? Well, that's what the other gentleman was saying, that's just slogans. These are achievements on the ground. Let Gawaya go to nearby Mbari Industrial Park. Show us the industrial park. Introduce democracy from the very beginning by getting people to elect the committees of the resistance councils, especially in the Bukit area. FOBA, the group of who are saying they were following Obote, started killing those elected leaders until we crushed FOBA. Elect people who help in exposing those mistakes. You have the power. Another time I'll speak about that, because the parishes are in Uganda, and everywhere there is local leadership, especially at the sub-county, and there are councillors. Why should things go wrong when all those leaders are there? Of course, even the government is also responsible, because they are the GISOs in every sub-county. Why would things go wrong and the GISO doesn't know? And the DISO. The facts of the matter are that with the limited waking up, where 67% of the homesteads as compared to 9%, because in 1962, only 9% of the people were in the money economy. Only 9%. When I checked in 2013, only 32% were in the money economy. But as we speak now, 67% of the homesteads are in the money economy. And Uganda has graduated from the least developed countries to a lower middle income country. Our GDP rose from 3.9 billion in 1986 to now 69.3 billion by forex exchange method and 197.1 billion by the PPP method. The GDP per capita has risen to US dollars 1,278, while the threshold for lower middle income status is $1,136. Household poverty has declined from 56% in 1992 to now 16.1%. Life expectancy was 43 years in 1986. It was 46 in 1992, but it had come down to 43 by 1986 because of the chaos which Amin created. It had come from 43. It is now 68 years. The infant mortality rate was 122 for 1,000 born alive. It is now 36 for 1,000 born alive. In other words, our economy has expanded more than 17 times in the last 40 years of recovery, expansion, diversification, value addition, entering the knowledge economy, and transformation. This year, the economy is projected to grow at 6.4%, and the next year, the GDP will grow by 10%, pushing the size of the economy to US dollars 80 billion. All this is before the start of the flow of our commercial oil. In the last 15 years alone, the country has added 31 new products to the export basket. Uganda now exports manufactured goods, including pharmaceuticals, refined gold, steel, ICT products, ceramics, plastics, the dairy products already talked about. Uganda's exports have reached US dollars 18 billion in the 12 months ending in March 2026. The 67% of the people that have listened to our messages and friends from outside that have invested here have turned our economy into a country of surpluses. Milk, 5.4 billion liters from 200 million liters in 1986. Fish, 727,000. Coffee, 9.3 million 60 kilogram bags from 2 million bags in 1986. 76,000 metric tons of cocoa. Cement, from about 5,000 tons to 7 million metric tons of cement. Maize, from 200,000 to 5 million metric tons. Bananas, from 6.6 million to 11 million metric tons. Cassava, from 3.5 million to 4.5 million metric tons. Sugar, from 150,000 to 700,000 metric tons. We are now set for further and faster growth and transformation. With electricity, we have moved from 60 megawatts in 1986 to to now 2,098 megawatts. We are, however, aiming at 50,000 megawatts from hydro, solar, gas, wind, nuclear, and geothermal. Therefore, all the leaders must ensure that those programs are downloaded in their respective areas. In the next 5 years, all the households with land must get the low interest capital in the form of PDM. You, the leaders, you must ensure this. You must go up to the parish levels. You may not visit every parish, but you call the parish chiefs at the constituency level and make sure they do their work. If they don't do their work, we shall sack all of them. There's already 557 million in the parish. I was saying 800 million in the other address, but there's now because when the PDM started, initially they sent less than 100 million per year. And it has reached 3.7 million households. We are going to put shillings 100 million plus 15 million for the leaders per annum per parish in the rural areas, and shillings 300 million plus 15 million for the leaders per ward in the towns. Uganda shillings 760 billion has gone for the Myoga, operating from the constituency level. Where is that money? How many and which Myoga associations have benefited from this money? There's one of the young people who was involved with the Myoga money. Fortunately, he was elected as a member of parliament for Kasanda area. Bisaso, is Bisaso here? Where is the Bisaso? Oh, I'm not allowed to, because I'm not allowed to speak, to say anything, and the other people are not supposed to stand up or walk or what. Is the Bisaso here? Ah, that's how Bisaso looks like. He knows about Myoga, that man. Thank you. On account of peace, some traders have generated a lot of capital through imports. These are the ones that built arcades, real estate. There's a young lady called Nanteza that is always showcasing on UBC the different real estate abroad, was recently trying to buy a flat in the Kampala area. And they were demanding US dollars, 1.2 million. A Ugandan who has come from outside came back. You know, when people are outside, they think that Uganda is in poverty. So this Ugandan came back, was looking for a flat. And the flats were selling at $1.2 million. And as she was trying to mobilize the money, the resident Ugandans had bought all the flats. Only she came back, they said, sorry, all the flats are sold. She was amazed that me, the diaspora, I don't have money. These Ugandans, the stayees, have a lot of money. She was amazed at how rich some of the Ugandans are. The middle class is coming up. The question is, what sort of middle class are we witnessing coming up? Are they the comprador bourgeoisie that are agents of foreign interests, or importers, commission agents, etc., or are they the national bourgeoisie that build the capacity of the country through being big or small farmers, manufacturers, service providers, and ICT operators? Let us no more sleep, no more Congola, no more corruption, no more kugumaza, no more politeness towards non-performers. This one, it is actually, I have been polite enough. I don't Kuemura people. All the non-performers must leave leadership. Leadership is not for ego, but for people and country. In agriculture, it is possible to have pan-Ugandan rural transformation. In the Exos area, I have 9 villages with 2,048 homesteads now. As of today, all the 2,048 homesteads have joined the money economy with coffee, bananas, dairy farming, goat rearing, and poultry. Let me see my Exos areas, if you have got some.
Manya gange Zerule John ni musajja mulimi nundayo
2 p.m. and I once again want to thank you, Your Excellency, and all dignitaries and invited guests for gracing this function. And my appeal to you all, honorable members of the 12th Parliament, let's stand to be counted, to be the members of Parliament who will sleep no more, to be the members of Parliament who will be remembered for waking up ourselves and waking up our people towards the money economy. We should resolve today to be the generational leaders who do not only listen, but also act on the guidance of President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. May God bless you all. Thank you for your kind attention.
The money economy. I think that has been his message ever since. He's consistent from the campaign up to now. All the meetings we have had with the president, he has said the same thing. So he has only increased his commitment to see that it happens, that all Ugandans get involved in the money economy to drive the country into upper middle income status. I think that has been key. He also touched a bit on the issue of infrastructure for roads, and also on markets, but everything is around production for the market. I think that's the
viewers outside there. We have been attending the State of the Nation address, and the President has been emphasizing on the 4 acres model farming, that is commercial farming. My role as a State Minister for people with disabilities is now to emphasize for my people to get engaged in farming, commercial farming, and if possible, they have to utilize the 10% given to them in the PDM. That is going to be my first step in delivery service of my people to my people.
Okay. A word of caution.
I would like to tell my people, especially people with disabilities, that first of all, there are a number of programs that we get from the government. We have programs like National Special Grant have been made that this program has been abused by the technical team who cut part of the money for themselves and give the disabled part of the money. I'm going to work towards that to make sure the disabled get their money in full. The money is given to them, 5 million per group that they form, and I make sure that they get it in full as 5 million because there has been complaint that they always cut away 1 million or 1.5 and they remain with 3.5. That is my first line of duty that I have to tackle. The other thing is, my people should not think that this PDM money is given to them freely. During my campaign, I've been telling them that the president has given a grace period of 2 years to pay this money. And I would like them to begin thinking of paying the money so as for them to access more. Because the money, as you heard from the president the other time, it has been increased from 100 million per parish to 200 million. So I believe if a person has got 2 million, that is enough for putting it for commercial farming. That is all I can. My name's Honorable Achan Joyce, Okay, member of parliament representing people with disabilities, and now a state minister for gender, labor and social development in charge of disabilities.
Thank you very much. I'm Honorable Marshall Lenyo, MP Jonam. Of course, the President's address was expected. The areas he emphasized on were expected. PDM, and he showed us some videos of people who have made it. For us as West Nile, we have some take-homes. First of all, there are going to be 38 bills, which we shall pass in the next sitting of Parliament. We want to know how these bills will help the West Nile. That's one important area we are going to look at. Secondly, we are going to look at the money he's going to add in NADS and PDM. He has been raising the money. He has put 15 million for the officials and 100 million for the parishes. We are very good with that. We're going to see how best the 38 bills coming to Parliament will be. So he didn't give us the bills. So if he gave us the bills, would have been capable of commenting. But I've not yet seen a list of the bills. I know that West Nile, we are not very agricultural. We have other trades, mining, etc., other commercial activities which we expected. But we shall still first study what he has presented in those bills, then we shall be able to comment. But we thank His Excellency the President. His message is clear: wealth creation, no more sleeping, not just sleeping, which is a very good thing. We can also see from the field of Parliament that he has overemphasized the fight against corruption. So we expect this time maybe real things are going to happen in the fight against corruption.
Kusinziira ku mbeera eziriwo ng'ozaala omwana ajja kubeerawo kumala myaka meka. Kati emyaka mweba eri mitono kitegeeza nti embeera mbi, mweba eri mingi kitegeeza nti embeera nungi. Kati 86 Pulezidenti ng'ayingira mu Uganda, life expectancy yali egenzeko wansi ku 43 bw'ayogedde kubw'ensonga z'obukulembeze obubi, HIV and AIDS n'ebizibu ebirala. Naye kubanga waliwo bingi ebikoleddwa mu byobulamu ne programs ez'enjawulo ez'okutereeza embeera z'abantu, kati life expectancy eyo kati muba opima egenzeko waggulu netuuka ku 68. Kubanga tukola studies ate bazikola wonna mu Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, wonna mu nsi yonna. So methodology ebeeremu. So tosobola kugamba nti methodology gye bakozesa mu Uganda yenfu ye bakozesa wonna mu mawanga gonna. So kituufu nti embeera z'abantu zigenda nezibeera nungi. Bwe bakozesa amaaso kituyita naked eye examination, oba olaba nti embeera zikyuse ate zikyuka nezibeera enungi.
Ensonga ya bakanyumira nnyo okujja kwegenda olambula ku bantu olaba onakyusa ono kumite ebintu nga bitambula naye gwe bwe najjanga ng'oli gumite olemedde mu bwavu mukwano saba Katonda akutta otuviire kuba gwe munange ensi ebeekukoze eki ebeekulemye naye nga twebazizza nnyo omukulu atulambise bulungi era ndowooza tujja otandikira pozi nga abakulembeze tujja kusaba ssenga w'emitima gyaffe atubuulirire tuleme kugwa muki mu kateeba oba tuleme kugwa mu ntata ez'okukemebwa. N'olw'ebigambo ebyo Pulezidenti atuyambye nnyo, atulungamiza bulungi, ndowooza emyaka tujja kutambula bulungi. Omukama abankuumire mwenna. Omusajja
ngenda kugirondola bulungi ndabe nga ekola bulungi. Nyina essuubi nti tubadde tulina emmwanyi ze tusimba ng'olumu tuzijja mu nasale bed ezitali nnungi nga mu myaka 2-3 ene emmwanyi webalira ng'emmwanyi ezombi. Ne Pulezidenti bw'abanga yakkiriza buli gy'ayina faamu bateekeyo nasale bed y'emmwanyi okugenda okuva emmwanyi ezo aye tuzigabe mu bantu. Kino nakyo kiwa essuubi nti omulimi mu kisanja kino ekitaliimu kwebaka ekitaliiko kulya nguzi tulaba nga omulimi yagenda okusinga okufunamu ate era kyetusinga okwetaaga. So tulina essuubi nti ekisanja kino nga tewali tulo, nga tewali kwebaka, nga tewali nguzi, buli kimu kigenda kutambula bulungi.
Mupyo w'ekika ekyo gwafiirwa nze njozaayo z'abantu bange ab'omu Masaka City bo baabuuka nabanyonyola nze okunoonya kwange okwakalu tekwalimu kwegayirira zibe tobindeetera nkubuulira mazima bw'oba oyina amagezi ngoga nti kituufu kagende nannameere bw'oba gajja luvannyuma kati abamu nalabe gaatandise okujja era mujja kubanga akaluwa kaddako ate enkubira waggulu ddala n'okusinga ku mulundi guno ebyange byakubuulira mazima, it is my only matrix ebisigadde gwe weesootinga naye abalonzi the fact that abaana bano bafaayo okubaleetera obubaka buno. YouTube n'abukuwa, TikTok n'abukuwa, TV nezibukuwa, radio nezibukuwa, ng'oliba oli buukaddi. Olonze omuntu akugambye nti ye okujja ekkololo nedda tajja kujja kubanga pulezidenti waali. Kakati wiiki ewedde nga bajja mu kulonda kw'ababaka okuwuddisibwa kungi mu Uganda. Ate obuzibu abawagizi ba opposition bambi muli bangu okuwuddisibwa. Kyova olaba nti n'ababawuddisa tebakoowa. Kati eyo nayo bagirese nga nkodyo mufere tujja kgenda mu State of the Nation Address. Ng'ani afiirwa? Buuzanga nnyo omubaka wo nti ekyo ky'okoze ogenda kufiirwawa. Buli ali wano tekuli agenda gaana alaawensi ya lutuula luno. Ate nno si ssente ntono. Alaawensi y'olutuula luno eri mu miliyoni ezisoba mwezi. Olutuula olwo era bagenda zimuteera ku akawunti n'omusimbi gw'omulala bagupakira okwo tajja kuzigaana. Bonna n'aba NUP n'aba FDC n'aba chief enna n'aba NRM buli omu azironga nti erinnya lyo lyayingizibwayo mu parliament olutuula luno ddo lugenda kusasula. Kakati gwatudde eka akuba engalo nti omubaka owaffe teyazze okasuka obuwaano mwerimba mwekka. Muli mu buzibu bwe bayita dinaayo. Naye ffe weetuli okubabuusa